Good morning, everyone. I am thinking that this is probably going to be, if not our last, then one of our last lessons because seniors will have what they call finals at the beginning of next week, and then the non-seniors will have it towards the end of next week. And so I'll be telling you tomorrow about how we're going to do that. So we're going to do our warm-up real quick. It says find the inverse of y equals log base 2 of x, and then we're going to graph those functions. So the function itself is y is equal to the log base 2 of x. And so that means that the inverse would be x is equal to the log base 2 of y. So since we're not familiar with how to graph a log, we're going to go ahead and put this into exponential form. So this is saying 2 to what power gives you y. And so that is something we do know how to graph. If you want, you can flip it around and say y is equal to 2 to the x power. And so then coming along, if we started something like -3, so 2 to the negative third power means flip it and cube it, so that's going to be 1/8. 2 to the negative 2 power says flip it and square it, so that's going to be 1/4. 2 to the negative 1 power is flip it and keep it to the first power, so that's going to be 1/2. To any number to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the first is 2. 2 to the second is 4, and 2 to the third is 8. So the inverse looks like this. So notice that the inverse of a logarithm is going to be an exponential. And so then remember that the function itself is going to be the reflection across the line y is equal to x. And the way we know how to do that, again, is to flip the x and the y. So instead of y here and x here, we flip them. So if we move them back, then we have some good points. So here we had a point at -3, 1/8. We had a point at -2, 1/4. We had a point at -1, 1/2. We had a point at 0, 1, at 1, 2, at 2, 4, and at 3, 8. So what we're going to do for the logarithmic graph is just flip those. So now we're going to say 1/8, -3. And we're going to say 1/4, -2, and we're going to say 1/2, -1, and then we're going to say 0, 1, and then we're going to say, 1, 0, and then we've got 2, 1, and then 4, 2, and then we have 8, 3. Let's see, sorry, that wasn't an 8. 8, 3 is over here. And so the graph is going to look something like this. So what I want you to notice is that the graph of the inverse had an asymptote at the negative x-axis. And so now the graph of the log is going to have an asymptote at the negative y-axis. So we can't have any x values on the y-axis or to the left of the y-axis. And notice if I fold it along this line, then the two graphs would lie right on top of each other, ignoring this point that was a mistake here. So this black graph is going to be the parent graph for base 2 logs. And so Mr. Darrow coined the phrase that a logarithm is a what power function. So for example, we said 2 to, let's see, what power of 2 gives me a number? So we'd say what power of 2 gives me 2, and that would be the first power. What power of 2 gives me 4? That would be the second power. What power of 2 gives me 8? And that would be the third power. So that's another way that we could go about graphing that. All right, so now we're going to realize that graphing these logs is exactly the same as all of the other functions we've been doing. So if we take a look at this function here, what are we doing to the parent graph of y equals the log base 2 of x? And since the 3 is outside the function, this is going to be expanding vertically by a scale factor of 3. So it's expanded because 3 is greater than 1. So let's start here. If we do something like 1, so if we said what power of 2, ignoring this 3, what power of 2 gives me 1, and that was 0, and if I multiply that by 3, I still stay at 0. What power of 2 gives me 2? that would be the first power, but this says vertically expand it by a scale factor of 3. So 1 times 3 gives me 3. And then what power of 2 gives me 4? That would be the second power. Multiplied by 3 gives me the sixth power. If I can get this right. And then for 8, what power of 2 gives me 8? And that's the third power, times 3 gives me 9. And then if I go this way, what power of 2 gives me 1/2? That's -1, but I'm going to multiply that by 3, and I would come down this way. And so the graph looks like this. So I'm still going to have an asymptote at the negative y-axis. I've just expanded my graph vertically. I've stretched it vertically by a scale factor of 3. So if we take a look at this one, 4 is on the inside of the function. So that means that it's horizontal, and anytime it's horizontal, we have work to do. So that means that my scale factor is going to be the reciprocal of 4. So it's going to be 1/4. And since that's smaller than 1, we're going to be compressed horizontally by a scale factor of 1/4. Okay? So where I would have started at 1, so we would say what power of 2 gives me 1? And that is 0. So I'd go 1/4 as many steps, and that's going to be the 1/4 is comma 0. So then normally at 2, we would say what power of 2 gives me 2, and that would be 1. But now we're going to take 1/4 as many steps. So if I do 2 times 1/4, I get 1/2. So that's going to be 1/2 comma 1. And then what power of 2 gives me 4? That would have been 2, but instead of 4 steps to the right, it's going to be 1 step to the right that's going to get me that 2 now. And then the next one was 8. So we would say what power of 8 gives me 2, and that would have been the third power. But I'm going to take 1/4 as many steps, and that says take 2 steps to get up to 3. The next one would have been 16. And what power of 2 gives me 16, and that would be 4. And if I do 16 times 1/4, that means now I'm going to do 4 steps to the right to get me up to 4. And so I still have this asymptote at the positive y-axis, but we can see that we compressed it like a sideways trash compactor to go that way. Okay. So again, these are all talking about my domain steps. These are my x steps. So what would have taken me 2 steps to go up 1 is now taking me 1/2. What would have taken me 4 steps to go up 2 is now taking 1/4 as many steps. What would have taken me 8 steps to the right to go up 3 is now only taking me 2 steps. And what would have been 16 steps to the right to go up 4 only takes me 4 steps. All right, so taking a look at this next one, the -1 is going to be a translation, and it's outside of the log because it's not in parentheses with the x, so it means take the log base 2 of x and then subtract 1 from it. So this is going to be translated down 1 unit because vertical is what it looks like. Okay. So again, this is called the what power. So what power of 2 gives me the number that we're talking about. So if I start at 1 again, what power of 2 gives me 1? And that would be 0. And then I'm going to translate that down 1 unit. What power of 2 gives me 2? That would be the first power, but I'm going to translate that down 1 unit. What power of 2 gives me 4? That would have been 2, but I'm going to translate that down 1 unit. And what power of 2 gives me 8? And that would have been 3, and I'm going to translate that down 1 unit. And if I want to, I could go over here and say what power of 2 gives me 1/2. That would be -1, and then I would translate that down 1 unit. So I still have this asymptote at the negative y-axis. And so it is the parent graph just translated down 1 unit. So see if you could take a moment to pause the video and see if you could predict what we're doing with this one. So the +3 is inside the parentheses, so that means it's inside of the log function, which means it's a horizontal change. And anytime it's a horizontal change, that means that we have work to do. So that means that I'm going to solve for x and get x is equal to -3. So that means that we're going to translate to the left 3 units. Okay, so we said normally at 1, we would go up 0 because what power of 2 gives me 1? And that is 0. And then we're going to translate it to the left 1, 2, 3 units. Okay? And then at 2, 2 to the first gives me 2, but I'm going to translate to the left 1, 2, 3 units. And then 4, 2 to the second gives me 4, translated to the left 3 units. And then 8, what power of 2 gives me 8? That's to the third, but then I'm going to translate to the left 3 units. So notice that the negative y-axis is no longer my asymptote. My asymptote actually moved 3 units to the left as well. So this is going to be my new asymptote here. So if I tried 1/2, 2 to the negative 1 gives me 1/2, and then I have to translate to the left 1, 2, 3, and that gets me a little closer to that new asymptote. And so it's the same as the parent function, just translated to the left, including the asymptote. All right, so take a moment to see if you could pause the video and put these two together. So I did a little bit of work, and so I noticed this was a horizontal change, so I set it equal to 0 and solved for x, so that told me that I'm translating to the right 3 and up 2. And on this one, I changed x over 3 to 1/3 x, and so that lets me know it's a horizontal change, and so my scale factor is going to be the reciprocal, which is 3, and 3 is greater than 1, so we're going to be expanded horizontally by a scale factor of 3. So again, pause the video and see if you can graph those. So taking a look at these two graphs, see if they match what you have. And so what we did, we said what power of 2 gives me 1, which is 0, and then I moved that to the right 1, 2, 3, and then up 2. And then what power of 2 gives me 2, that is 1, and then I go to the right 1, 2, 3, and up 2, etc., etc. So notice that moved our asymptote to the right 3 units. And so that is our new function. And so this one, what was to the right 1 to go up 0 is now to the right 3 to go up 0. What was to the right 2 to go up 1 is now to the right 6 to go up 1. And what was to the right 4 to go up 2 is now to the right 12 to go up 2. And then if we want to go in reverse, for 1/2, what was 1/2 down -1 is going to be 3 times to the right of that, which is 1.5 to go down 1. And what was 1/4 to go down 2 is now going to be 3/4 to go down 2. And so it's essentially like we took silly putty and stretched it to the right. So the vertical values stay the same, but the horizontal values increase by a scale factor of 3. All right, so if we talked about a base 3 logarithm, then that means that we're talking about y is equal to the log base 3 of x. So now instead of saying what power of 2, we're going to say what power of 3. So if we start at 1, what power of 3 gives me 1? That's still 0. But I'm not going to go to 2 this time. I'm going to go to 3. So what power of 3 gives me 3? And that's going to be 1. And then I'm going to skip all the way to 9. And what power of 3 gives me 9? And that's going to be 2. And then if I go in reverse, what power of 3 gives me 1/3? And that's going to be -1. And so again, I still have an asymptote at that negative y-axis. And now I have a new base. So instead of talking about powers of 2 on the x-axis, I'm talking about powers of 3 on the x-axis. All right, so then how does this translate into talking about inequalities? So I'm going to take a moment to graph these two graphs. So pause and graph and do them dashed because we can always make them solid if we need to. So looking at A, this is just the parent graph, dashed form. And then this is the parent graph translated up 1 unit in the dashed form. All right, so if we take a look at the first one, less than means that the graph itself is not part of the solution. And then less than means shaded under the graph. So all the y values have to be below the graph. And so that would be the completed version of that. Now this one is saying greater than, but here's the thing. If I just shade above, I'm shading all the way over here. But remember we said that we had an asymptote right here. And that asymptote means I can't have any x values on the y-axis, and I can't have any x values to the left of the y-axis, because that is our asymptote. I can't take the log of 0 and I can't take the log of a negative number. So when I shade above the function, I need to be careful that my shading is to the right of that y.